This is a new stream that I'm starting, so a little bit different from the interstage window stream that I do on Saturdays with Landon usually, and sometimes Naomi. This is one where it's going to be just me, and probably going to do something a little different each time for this particular stream. I wanted something that was a little bit more not super structured and stuff like that. That's a little bit more like it's not necessarily a certain expected topic, but I do want to take the time to cover things that don't really fit into an episode of Spare Room, but there's still stuff that you guys want to know and that you guys ask about, and like I know that is things that you're looking for from me. So that's why today the main topic is going to be about how I film my YouTube videos. It's an infrequent question that I get, but I do get it sometimes, and I know it's something that you guys are curious about. So that's why we're going to talk about it. Um, but before we kind of do that, I want to just do a couple of quick announcements. So that's also one of the things I want to use this for, is a time to kind of let you guys know what's going on in the world of Karen Terry stuff that you might be interested in. So one of the things is, people that are in my role play know, but everybody probably hasn't noticed yet, Atlantis is closing. So what that means is we have set a closing date for this. It's going to officially close in December, but we've announced to our players to go ahead and start working on the endings for their characters, because we are going to be closing in December. And that means from now until December, we're not going to be accepting new players. We're not going to be accepting new characters. So if you guys go look at advertisements that I've made for Atlantis in the past. Yeah. Oh, hey Kendra. Yeah. So I guess you didn't know because you weren't in that particular server. But yeah, we're closing Atlantis. So what that means is no new characters, no new players. Everybody gets to start working on their endings. But the really good thing is that means that we're going to be opening up a new role play. So that's really the reason that I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this, because I talk in my videos a lot about like the ideal situation of exactly like what I do and what I'm always striving to do in my spare room videos. But I want to let you guys in on kind of a lot more of the nitty gritty process, show examples, more stuff like that. So, since we are going to, in December, be working towards launching a new role play, this will be a really good opportunity to let you guys in on what that looks like, what that process is like, so you can see firsthand a lot of the steps that go into it. So I'm planning on sharing a lot of that here on this stream. So something to look forward to between now and probably January when it actually launches. Yeah, and I hope that this time slot, Kendra, like for you and for some other people, works a lot better. I know like noon on a Saturday does not work for my people that want to join that are on the West Coast. It doesn't work for like my people that want to join me that are in like Australia, New Zealand, areas like that. So this time is a little bit friendlier for you guys, so we can still stream and kind of hang out and talk and all of those lovely things during this time slot. So yeah, so something to look forward to. I'm going to walk you guys through a lot of the processes. Like, for example, things have changed with how I create Discord servers. Like, not overall, right? So those videos that I made are still valid, but they're like a year old at this point. I think the first one might be over a year old. They're really freaking old. So I want a chance to walk you guys through some of the things that I do now, some of the things that I've changed, because every time you make a new server, you think about like, oh, that could do this better or that better, or things like that. So I want to, show you guys stuff like that. So that's kind of that little announcement. The other thing that I wanted to announce, I've announced this in my Discord server, but I want to let you guys also know that I am working on some changes to my Patreon tiers. They're gonna debut officially 1st of October. So one of the oh, just rewatched that series the other week. Yeah, I mean, I think there's still really good references, but there's just things that are different now. So I want to stream like actually creating the server and things like that. So yeah, when it comes to the Patreon tiers, some things have changed that I'm adding to it. So I'm not taking away anything, but I'm adding a few things. So I will actually move to, let me pull this up. I want to show you guys. Like I showed it on the Saturday stream, but I just want to make sure that for the people that aren't necessarily watching that, you guys have a chance to see this too. I'm just pulling up the graphic real quick. So those of you guys that watched the last Saturday stream, you guys saw this, but I want to show it to everybody. So there we go. So I've got a sticker now. This is for the $5 and up patrons. You guys will get this. The way that Patreon fulfilled merch works is that they fulfill it on your third payment, is my understanding. So those should start shipping out to some of you guys, depending on like when you became patrons and stuff like that, within the next couple of months. And then the other thing, sorry, this is for $10 and up patrons. They wouldn't let me do five. I wanted to, but it's for $10 and up patrons. The change I'm making for $5 and up patrons is that I'm going to be doing early release videos. So going forward, if you are doing $5 or up, you're going to get the video 24 hours in advance. So you'll get a chance to watch that video before anybody else does. So just a new little perk that we're doing for our $5 and up patrons. Everything else is still the same. In the very beginning of my videos for October, you guys are going to see the breakdown of that, so I'll go into a little more detail there, but I just wanted to touch on that because that is something that's changing, and I wanted to say a big thank you to my current patrons, because my patrons that are there for this month, for September, you guys have kind of been like guinea pigs a little bit to some of the changes. So thank you so much for kind of bearing with me while I worked out exactly how I wanted those early videos to work, and some stuff like that. So thanks for bearing with me on that. Okay, so those are our little announcements. Landon, hey! Hey girl, I know you're in class, so thank you so much for joining. It's okay if you mute this. Class is important. Okay, so those are our little announcements that I had. Something else that I wanted to start doing. Yeah, it is. It's a little important. So something that I wanted to start doing in regard to the videos is I wanted to take some time to talk to you guys after the video releases about some additional little things. So exactly what this looks like is going to vary, of course, depending on what video I released. But of course, this one yesterday was another Zodiac video, so all about Libra characters. And when it comes to Libras, I feel like you can tell. I feel like you can tell in the videos which of the zodiac signs I really vibe with and which I'm just kind of like a little indifferent to. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad that Libra was the first one that we're talking about today, because I think it's kind of obvious that Libra is not a zodiac sign that I use a lot in my character building. So I'm not, I'm not kind of quite as jazzed about Libras. Libra's a little bit like, the vibe to me is a little bit like very interested in their relationships, right? Very interested in finding a boyfriend, finding a girlfriend, whatever. And then the other vibe that Libras give off sometimes is like that enlightened centrist vibe. That vibe that's just like, I just want everyone to get along and be nice to each other. And that's just not my vibe, right? Like, conflict is sometimes good for you. Sorry, but that's how I roll. Yeah, it was Marie's sign. And she is such like a nice, sweet Libra. Like, she really does embody that kind of in that way that you think about that stereotypical typical like super nice character. And I love her. I love playing against her, but I don't know, like, if I was playing that character, I don't know. I couldn't keep her sweet. I would just get so bored. I would get so bored, right? Like, she wouldn't stay. She wouldn't stay in that sweet way. So, when it comes to these kind of like videos that are really intended for you guys to kind of draw inspiration from and things like that, I wanted to provide just a little bit more for you guys, so that you kind of have that additional inspiration. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to share this actually in a second, but one of the things that I want to do is start actually sharing some inspiration prompts with you guys. And my hope is that if you're interested, like, you can do the prompt even if you're not interested in this. But if you're interested, what I would love to do is, for those of you guys that do participate in the writing prompts that I'm going to be posting, if you are okay with it, I would love to kind of read some of your answers on stream, and kind of do it that way. Like, I think that would be really cool, so that people can see some of your writing. So this is something that I'm posting to Twitter. So I'm just pulling up my phone so I can actually tweet it out. And then let me pull it up over here so I can show you guys what the prompt is for Libra. So I gotta head to the Twitters. And I can't just pull it over, you guys, because I do follow some not safe for work accounts. So I just want to go straight to my Twitter so that y'all don't accidentally see that. Okay, so let's pull this over. Here we go. So this is kind of like when I think of Libra, these are some of the things that I'm thinking of, right? So I've got a scenario prompt here, so you could write like a little short story on this scenario if you wanted to. Two friends have been fighting for days and it keeps escalating. It's up to your character to help them make up, or the core group might be broken up forever. So a true Libra conundrum right there. Oh my God. No, I think Twitch is like really hardcore bans for that stuff. So I hope don't accidentally show you guys porn. That would be awful. um, it's fine on Twitter, but Twitch is like, no. Uh-uh. And then I've got some image prompts here. So like when I think of Libra, I think a lot about like, very, very, good with their dress, like very appropriate with their dress for wherever they are. So I've got this, this well-dressed guy right here. And I think a lot about like how you portray yourself with like an outward appearance sort of things. So that's why I picked this makeup. And of course it's the fall, so I'd have a beautiful aesthetic wheat field picture. I think that's very Libra. And then I've got some songs that are very Libra to me. They're relationship songs, most of them. So when you go listen to them, you'll see. But these are the Spotify links right here. So we've got Stay With Me, Birdie, and Orange Trees. Those are my song prompts. Then I've got a few more images here, right? She's enjoying a lovely drink at a very aesthetic looking little cafe here, like she's at a college or something. And then we've got, of course, a very Tumblr aesthetic kissing couple. And then some good ass food, right? Because everybody loves some good ass food. And I just think, Libras are all about, coming together. So I think of like something like that, like dumplings. And I've got a couple different ways that you can share the writing prompts with me if you guys are interested. So you can either comment below and let me know about it. You can tag it with Artistic License Twitch. So this is a tag that nobody's using, right? It's just me. I'm the only one in it. So I picked it out to make sure that I would be sure to see what you guys posted. When the VOD of this goes up on YouTube, if you want to leave it in the comments down below on YouTube, you're welcome to do that as well. And we have a Writing Shares channel in my Discord server. So if you are in the Discord server, you're welcome to share it in the Writing Shares as well. So any of those ways, it will get to me. And if you're comfortable with me sharing it, maybe next week on stream, please let me know, because I would love to do that. I really want to showcase some of you guys' writing, because I know if you're here, then you're working on your writing, you're working on yourself, so you probably are really super talented. So I want to show that off to everybody and help everybody get inspired by looking at each other's writing. Um, Landon says she's secretly a Libra. I don't know. I mean, is there some Libra in your chart? There might be. I don't remember. I know we looked at charts before, Landon, but I don't remember what all was in yours. So you might have some Libra in there. I don't know. I don't personally. I have no Libra in my chart. I don't vibe with it. I don't make characters for Libra. I don't have any Libra. So, that's me. But no shade. All signs are valid. It is what it is. It's just not me. So when it comes to these kind of like inspiration videos, I want to start sharing some of that stuff with you guys, some actual like inspiration of like, here's some things that you could use to go maybe create a new character or write a little scene here or there, or maybe you describe a new location or something like that, something to like flex your writing muscles. Because I really believe that when it comes to being a better role player, when it comes to being a better writer, you can consume all the help content in the world, but you're not going to get better until you actually put your fingers on the keyboard and type some stuff, right? So I'm trying to like give some tools to kind of help with that side of my philosophy when it comes to, being a good writer. So there we go. There's some inspiration. Y'all are welcome to participate in that. And I hope that you do, because I'm really excited to read some of your writing. Really, really excited to read some of your writing. Okay. So that's kind of the stuff that I wanted to start with. So I see we've got some people in here. We've got Landon. We've got Kendra in here. I see there's somebody else, but you haven't talked yet. So whoever you are, if you wanna talk and hang out, say something in the chat. But what I want to get to next is the actual meat of what I wanted to talk about today. So when it comes to being a YouTuber and posting videos online, a question that you're always going to get is, oh my gosh, how do you make your videos? Right? It doesn't matter how good or bad or indifferent your videos are, you're going to get that question. So I've gotten it several times. And it's a whole process. Like, it's a whole process that I go through, and it's changed a lot since I started. So what I want to do today is share some of the things that I've learned, how I used to do things, how I do things now, what I've learned over time. Because I'm trying to get better. Like I'm always trying to improve the videos, so that that the message can get out there more to more of you guys. So the first thing to know when it comes to making a video, and let's do this actually. Let's do this. Let me set this up right here. Okay. So I'm sharing my phone so you guys can see my actual phone screen right now. There we go. Refresh this. The reason I'm doing this is so we can do kind of like a two-camera thing. Oh, shoot. Okay. Hang on. Let me set this back up. I had preset it up, but of course my phone went to sleep, so it stopped working. Okay. So let's refresh this. Okay, so now we've got like a little second camera here so you guys can kind of see. So I'm gonna give like a second, use this to give kind of like a second angle of things. So we can kind of refer to this when we need to. So the first thing that you guys need to know, we're actually going to go to this link for right now. So the first thing that you guys need to know is that the most important thing is your audio. Okay. The most important thing when you're going to make a video is your audio. And I know that's not like super intuitive. Like when you very first, oh, let's log out. Let's sign out. I don't want to be logged into anyone's Amazon account. There we go. Let's go back. Didn't realize I was logged in. Okay, there we go. Now no one's logged in. Okay, so the very first thing is your audio. Okay. It sounds kind of counterintuitive. You think like, oh, when I want to start filming YouTube videos, I need to go buy a camera. That's wrong. Don't buy a camera. I'm going to talk about visuals later, but don't buy a camera. What you actually need to buy is a good microphone. My recommendation is to get a Blue Yeti. That's what I have here. That's this microphone right here. It's a Blue Yeti. It comes with this little stand like this right here. Now I have this whole arm rigmarole right here. Well, you don't have to get all that. Like I didn't have that at first, right? I didn't even have a good microphone at first. I spent $0 at first, but eventually the first thing I did buy was a microphone. And the reason why I'm recommending a Blue Yeti for that is because it's the best bang for your buck that you're going to get. It's not the best microphone. You talk to audiophiles out there. You talk to people that are, doing this, like they're doing like professional voice acting, that are recording songs, things of that nature. And they're going to tell you Blue Yeti's garbage. Like, and they're not wrong. There are way better microphones out there, but not for this price point, right? Like the Blue Yeti microphone, let's find like a regular one. See, $150, and that's it, right? And it's not super expensive. There's also this Blue Snowball one, which you can see that's only $50, but it's not nearly as good. You have to get like right up in it like this for it to record anything. So the Blue Yeti microphone is what I recommend. It's $150, so like it is an expense, right? Like it is an expense. I don't want to pretend like that's no amount of money. It is an amount of money. That's why I didn't have it at first. That's why my audio is garbage in like the first 6, 7, 8 something, a long time. The first long time in my videos, my audio is garbage. And it's because I was using the onboard mic on my phone instead of actually having a microphone. But Blue Yeti's good. Oh yeah, that's a really good point, Kendra. These go on sale a lot on retailers. So even though you're seeing here on Amazon, it's like you're seeing the $150. You can get it for cheaper a lot of times because they do go on sale. Now I know right now with everything going on, with the pandemic going on, that a lot of this type of equipment, because everyone's online now and they're investing in this equipment, like for their employees or for their work or whatever, that it can be hard to get. It can be hard to get this stuff. I know I just went through it with a webcam. This stream, I swear to God, this camera that I use right now, it looks like I'm filming on a potato. I'm not. It's actually a pretty good camera, but for some reason when I put it in webcam mode, it like looks like a freaking potato. It looks awful. I don't know why, but that's how it is. It films great if you are not doing the webcam mode, but as soon as you put it in webcam mode, it's like this. I finally actually bought a good webcam. So in a couple of weeks, hopefully when that gets here, we will have much better quality on these streams. But yeah, audio is the most important thing. So the very first thing that you want to spend your money on is a microphone, and Blue Yeti is the one that I recommend. The other thing when it comes to audio that I recommend is to download this program here. So if you, come here, over here. Okay, this program here. Anybody that's done audio editing, you instantly know what this is. This is Audacity. It is for free. You can go to audacityteam.org and get this for free. And it works great. Like I can go ahead and hit record and it's going to be recording what I'm saying right now. Like, and I have my setup for stream. It's not set up for like video recording. So, you know, it's not the ideal placement and all of that stuff. I do it slightly differently when I record videos, but you can see here, like it's recording, and because it's free, like you don't have to do anything, right? So like, let's say we're done recording. So let's stop you. Okay. And then this is so easy to use. Like if you have a decent microphone, this is all you have to do is we're going to do some noise reduction. So I just highlighted like a spot right here where I wasn't actually talking, right? And I go to noise reduction, get noise profile, and then I highlight everything. Then noise reduction again, click OK. And it takes out all of this background noise. It takes out all of this background noise that your microphone is picking up. So if you have a half decent microphone, you can do that. Now, if you have a garbage microphone, like I was using when I was using, you know, my phone, right? Then you can still use this to clean up a lot of stuff. And there's all kinds of tutorials online for how to use this. Kendra's asking, how long did it take you to learn how to use it? I don't know. I don't really remember exactly how long it took me to learn how to use it. It was something that I had used in the past for, you know, various other projects. And then I officially learned to use it at work when I first started making e-learnings. So when I very first started making e-learnings for my corporate trainer job at work, I learned how to use Audacity because it was a free program, right? So I could easily just download it and use it and I didn't have to worry about anything. So I don't know. I mean, I still don't really know how to use a lot of the stuff on it. Be real honest, I still don't know how to use a lot of the stuff on it, but I know how to use it plenty well enough that I can do what I need to do. Because like when I was doing this on my phone and using my phone microphone, like I would do the noise reduction like multiple times, and then like the audio was like really quiet, so I would also be like, okay, let's amplify, and I would jack it up, right? And like and then do more noise reduction and like fiddle with it and turn it up and down, and I would do like all kinds of crazy things in here to try to get it like totally okay with how it sounded. Oh, it's bested me many times. Yeah, I don't it's not like it's not the friendliest program, right? It's not the friendliest program to use. Like I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely stuff in here that I don't know what it does. Like I played with it and I don't understand. But really all you need to know, if you get a decent microphone, all you need to know is the noise reduction because your microphone's going to already have pretty good sound. And then if you have the crappy microphone, you might need to go look at some tutorials online to kind of clean it up a little bit. But the main things that I used when I was doing the crappy microphone was the noise reduction here and then amplify to jack it back up because it was so quiet when I recorded it on my phone microphone. And then like there's other things in here that you might want to use, like something I've used sometimes whenever the audio is like super jacked is this normalize. So what this does is, well, I'll just run it and you'll see. See, like it chops off the top, so it kind of like levels out the sound a little bit. I'm probably not describing that right. Somebody that actually knows how this stuff works is probably going to be like, Karen, actually normalize does da 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 da, but I don't know. So, you know, put the comments down below with what it actually does if you know. But those are the main things that I use is the noise reduction and the amplify. And really that's enough. Like that is enough for 90% of what you're going to do. And it's definitely enough if you're going to have like a half decent microphone, like a Blue Yeti right here. I just hit the microphone. I'm so sorry for y'all's ears. It probably just sounded awful. So yeah, if you get the half decent microphone, download Audacity. And honestly, like if you're just starting out making videos, I wouldn't spend another dime. Everything else is not necessary for the beginning. And like I said, I spent $0, so I didn't even have a decent microphone, and my videos were still getting views. Like those Discord videos that I recorded, a lot of those are recorded with the awful sound, right? So, and those still get a ton of views. So like you don't need that. But if you want to step it up, the first thing to step up is that audio. That's kind of the first thing. Take a drink of water. Oh, when I don't have Landon here talking with me and I talk so much, I get real thirsty. All right, so that's my main tips when it comes to audio. Now, the next important thing, let's go back to the phone here. You know what? Oh no, it'll only do it for 60 seconds. That's okay. We will just show real quick the 60 seconds. I want to show you guys so that you can see what I'm working with. Okay, so what I want to show you guys, trial, not going to pay for this, sorry. Okay, so the next thing I want to show is about lighting. So you can see I've got this light here, I've got this little light over here, and I've got this little light over here. So I've got 3 lights, and according to the Googles, let me switch it just to webcam only because that's all y'all need to see on that. So remember that in your mind, right? So according to the Googles, that's how you're supposed to set up your lighting, is with those 3 right there. Now, I didn't used to do it that way. Remember, I spent $0. So what I used to do, before I had lights was I pulled up Notepad on my 2 monitors here. Like you can probably tell from what I just showed that I have like a monitor here, right, and a monitor over here. I put Notepad up so that they were white, and that was my lighting. I'm so serious. I would turn on the overhead light and make both my monitors white and then film in front of the computer, so that was my lighting. It worked. Like you could see my face. It didn't look good, but it worked. So that's how I was able to do lighting at $0. Well, now that I've spent a little bit of money on it, let me show you what those actually are. So what I have right now are clamp lights with daylight bulbs. So I'm just going to pull up Amazon again and show y'all what those look like on there. And they're very, very cheap. Like they're very, very cheap. So it doesn't take much to invest in this lighting, right? So we've got these clamp lights, and they range different prices. Like I think this is the exact one I have, and it's like $10, right? This one's very similar for $11. But you just get these guys, and then you pop in one of these daylight bulbs, which these are not expensive either. You can get like packs of a bunch of them for like pretty cheap. You can see this is a pack of 4 for $9. This is how many? 24 for $27. So they're not super expensive. And the reason why you want to get daylight bulbs if you're going to do this kind of clamp light setup is because that's going to simulate sunlight, which is going to look the best. Like it's going to make your skin look the best. It's going to make your eyes look the best, all that sort of stuff. And then how to set them up, I had to Google this. I don't really know what I'm talking about with this here, but Google says this is what you're supposed to do. So don't ask me why you're supposed to do it this way. I have no idea, but I did it and it works. Is you're supposed to have your main, like your camera is supposed to be like here, right? And then your main light is supposed to be like over here, like where y'all saw mine was over here. And then you're supposed to have a light in the back of you and then a light also over to this side of you. Right, so let me switch it back to webcam only so that I can show you guys that a little bit better. So you got your camera right here. So this is the same spot that I would put my phone in when I'm filming, right, as opposed to the webcam that I'm doing right now. Then you have your main light like right here. So you can see like it's blocking my face when I put it up there, so you can tell that's where it is. And then you have a light in the back and then a light over to this side. So it's that 3-point lighting. And it does look much better when you set it up that way. So when I first got these, I set it up in this room as close as I could to that. Now I only have 1 tripod, so put the camera, I'll pull the camera back up and show you guys what I mean by that. I didn't realize this app only did 60 seconds if you didn't pay for it, so that's my bad on that, so sorry guys. But It is what it is. Okay, so let's go back to this. You can see like I have this right here. There's a tripod right here. And then this is just sitting on a nightstand. And then this is clipped to a TV tray. So I only have one tripod. I don't have multiples. So I really should get like actual, tripods for these other ones, but I don't have that. I don't have that. So that's what I'm using for now. And those clamps will clamp to anything. So if you have furniture in those places where it is that you want the lights to go, you can clamp them to that, and that works just fine. So someday I'll actually get some additional tripods and set those up properly, but today's not that day. So that's where they are right now. And when it comes to the lighting, like this is another thing that seems counterintuitive, right? Like we talked about the audio first because that's the most important. And then I started talking about lighting because that's the second most important. Getting good lighting will improve the look of your videos way faster than getting a fancy camera. And the amazing thing about it is the fancy camera is the most expensive thing you might get, and it's the least impactful of all the things, right? So you might think like, oh, I need to go out and buy a camera. You don't need to go out and buy a camera. You have an amazing camera right here. This is all you need. You just need your phone. This thing right here, even the front-facing camera is amazing. Like, and I use the front-facing camera, right? And the reason why is because I'm doing this by myself, right? Like I don't have somebody really helping me with this. So I need to see exactly how I'm framed. So this is what I'll do. This is what I'll do. You guys can see this little doodad right here. My phone can go inside of this. Let me clamp that. I clamp that down, right? Let's get camera 2 going again. Camera 2. Okay. So you can see, refresh this, back to here. So you can see like I've got this tripod, right? The tripod, and it's got this little screw. This guy right here is a little screw. So this camera is screwed directly into that right now, but I could screw this guy into it. So you can see that right there. That's got like a little screw there that I could put it, down in. So I can clamp my phone to that little tripod that's right there. And then like the phone is stabilized and it can film and all of that sort of stuff. So what I would do is I would flip it around like this, right? I'm just kind of holding it, right? But normally it would be screwed in. And then I could kind of like move things around where it's properly framed. No, that's what it actually looks like. Then I would move this, adjust this a little bit. I could adjust this around. I hope this is not making me sick. Oh, that's the sick there. Well, if you were getting sick, then you're done now. So I would like adjust it around, right? Adjust the tripod, all that sort of stuff to get the phone to be exactly where it needs to be. And then I would just film from my phone, right? I would just film from my phone and do the audio in Audacity. So like this is literally when I start. I adjust the phone and everything like that. And then what I do is I hit record on Audacity, I hit record on the phone, and then I do the clap, right? Because that's how you sync up the audio and video later when you go to edit. So that's literally what I do, and I do it like with my phone. You don't need a camera, like you really don't. Like let me show you one other thing. Let me show you one other thing on my phone that you might not know about if you have not, if you've not done very much with this stuff, you might not realize this. I'm going to go into my settings, and it's in here somewhere. I'm trying to remember. Maybe it's general. No, I should have Googled where this was. There is a setting in here. Maybe it's like, there's a setting in here where you can literally tell it to record in 4K. Like your phone records in 4K. It's crazy. Must be camera. Camera. Yeah, record video. So you can tell it to record 4K at 60 frames per second. Why would you buy a camera? Don't bother buying a camera. Just get this little tripod attachment so that you can put your phone on a little tripod and then you're good to go. Like obviously I'm not filming that. I have it set to 1080 at 60 frames per second because I end up exporting it in 1080 at 30 frames per second. So I jump up the frames just a little bit, but the thing is that the 4K makes really big files, so that's why I don't do it that way. But you can, like, if you want to record in 4K, your phone can do it. You don't need to have more than that. It's just not necessary. It's just not necessary. So, my recommendation, if you're going to start filming YouTube videos, is just use your phone as soon as you can. Invest in better audio, better microphone. But really, you don't have to make much more investment than that. Like another visual trick that I know some YouTubers use before they purchase lights is they would film in front of a window during the day, right? So they would go at like, whenever the sun was coming in that window, they would just go film in front of that window and then their face looked beautifully lit, right? Now, when you're dealing with daylight, clouds pass and like there's a little jank there, a little bit of jank there that you don't get with like indoor lights that don't move around and have clouds coming in front of them. But you still have decent lighting, right? It's not going to look dark, it's not going to look muddy, it's not going to look weird, stuff like that. I took some notes to make sure I said everything I wanted to say, so I'm just going back and look at my notes now. Just going back and looking at my notes now. Okay, so I showed that. So yeah, I mean that's really like the main point of everything I do when I film my videos. A couple of other quick tips that you guys can use just to make things look better. Something I want to note is I don't wear makeup. I don't wear makeup in my videos. All I'm wearing right now is mascara and some cherry chapstick. And that's it. And that's all I'm wearing like 90% of the time. Sometimes I forget to even put on the mascara just because that's not me, right? Like that's not how I typically look. That's not how I typically present myself. So I don't do that on YouTube. Now, I say that to tell you that doesn't mean that you shouldn't wear some makeup. It is a visual medium. I probably would have some more subscribers, some more viewers, some more fans if I prettied myself up a little bit, right? So that's something to be aware of. Like, I still get some views even though I don't do that stuff, but that doesn't mean that, like, doing that stuff is a bad idea or that I shouldn't be doing that. I probably should be doing that, but I don't. I don't because it's just not me. It's not me, so I don't do that. So, just something to note about something that I'm doing not as well as I could. But one of the things I do also do to make sure that the videos, like that I look as good as possible in the videos, is how, like, because I have, well, my hair's like really long right now, so this actually can demonstrate it really well. So, I tend to like pull my hair like this, and obviously like I've been messing with it so it doesn't look quite right. So I pull my hair like this and then I pull it like all to the front. Like, okay, it makes it look like I have more hair than what I have, but like I'll turn around. I just pulled it, oh, sorry, I hit the microphone, but I pulled it all to the front, right? So that's something that you can do if you have longer hair to make yourself like look a little bit better in the videos, is just pull it all up to the front. That works for photos too, so that's a little tip there. Like if I push my hair back like this, like it doesn't look like I have very much, right? Like it doesn't look as nice as far as framing my face goes. Pull it all up to the front. There, everything's framed much nicer. So there are, like, of course, a few things that I do like that when it comes to my appearance to kind of make things a little bit, look better, right? To make things like look a little bit better. But I don't do everything I should do, right? Like a full face of makeup would be better, but I don't. It's not me. And that's really it. That's really it. Oh, I have one other note. So I told y'all, like when I film, like I do the front facing camera on my phone so that I can make sure that like it's framed the way that I want it to be framed. But one thing that you have to know if you're going to do that is it's really, really tempting to just stare like at yourself. Right, it's really hard to not look at yourself. And you'll see newer YouTubers doing this where they'll keep like glancing. They'll keep like glancing into the viewfinder or into that part of their phone to look at themselves. So just make sure that you're always looking into the lens. So like the lens on my phone is like this little guy right here. Like you can thing, but it's next to the it's like right there. I promise it's right there. You just can't really see it on the camera. So you have to actually look into that because you don't want to end up with footage that is kind of unusable because you're just not looking in the right spot. And while we're on that subject, I want to share some other little like filming tips that I have learned just to make your life easier when you're going back and editing the videos. So another thing that I like to do is when I'm I use a script, right? Like I use a script, but I don't say my script word for word. So this is what I'll do. I'll read to myself, like I'm filming this whole time, right? But I'll read to myself a paragraph of my script, and then I'll look in the camera and I will say an approximation of what I just read. It's not exactly what I just read because that's just not how it happens. But because, what just happened? What just happened? Oh my gosh, Shadow, hey! Thank you so much for the follow. Um, I'm so glad you were finally able to attend. I know that the normal stream time is like super not friendly for you, so thank you so much for coming today. Um, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about how I do the scripts. So I don't read it word for word, but I'll say an approximation. And if I don't like what I said, then I just do it again, right? But after you speak like a sentence or like a couple sentences or something like that, naturally people blink, right? So after you say a few sentences, naturally you blink. And now that I've told you that, you're going to notice yourself doing it. But it looks really strange when you're editing if you include those blinks. And if you've ever had like a YouTube video that you were watching and you're like, this feels like kind of janky, that might be why. They might be editing where those blinks are still in there. So you always want to cut that little bit before the blink. So what I do is I've trained myself like after I've said whatever it is I want to say, like I just stare into the camera a little bit more, like I resist that blink. So that's something that you guys can do to kind of make your editing life easier is just be aware that that blink naturally happens and either try to not blink or fix it when you do the editing. So when you do your editing, make sure that those blinks are not in there because it just makes it look like it's not a good conversation when you watch the video back when actually your viewers are watching your video. Before I get burgers. Oh, are you getting burgers from somewhere? Where are you getting them from? Man, I had we had burgers like maybe last week. Yeah, we had some burgers last week, but it's been a minute. I could go for another burger for real. We did French onion burgers, which was so good. If you guys are following my personal Instagram, if you can find it, good luck. I've got it published in a couple places, but it's not it's not super well publicized. But if you can find that, you can find pictures of my French onion burger. I agree, McDonald's does not count as real burgers. Not that I'm dissing McDonald's. I love me some McDonald's. When it's fresh, their fries are amazing. But Five Guys is a real burger. Like if you want burgers, like McDonald's is not, it's not it, it's not it. The burger is just the thing so that you feel like you ate some real food when you really just want some french fries. So that's my take on that. Oh my gosh, now I want a burger. Maybe I'll see. Maybe I'll see if we can get some burgers this weekend or something. Yeah, Landon says Five Guys is the only option there. Fucking agree. Okay. I'm just looking over my notes. I think that's really like the main stuff that I wanted to say about how I film my videos and the stuff that I go through to actually like do that filming part. Because I feel like when it comes to the YouTube stuff, like there's a lot of different steps in it, but filming the videos is something that, most people don't have experience in, right? Like most people have experience like with writing a paper or something like that. So you kind of know how to write a script. A lot of role players have experience with, photo editing and things like that, but they don't really have a lot of experience with like talking to a camera or kind of the video part of it, right? Like even role players that do video editing, they're making like fan cams and things like that. They're not really like filming themselves. And the wonderful thing about YouTube videos, which I don't get to do on stream, so like you see a lot more, unfiltered stuff, but you get to really think about like what it is that you want to say, how it is that you want to say it, what exactly you want to convey. And that's one of the things that I really love about the process of making the videos is I get to really spend time thinking about how it is that I want to tackle a certain topic and what it is that I want people to get out of it and therefore like kind of what I want to do. So that's something that's really exciting to me. Oh my God, Landon. Yes, Kendra only has 5 men in the whole state. Oh my God, what a state that would be. So yeah, Kendra, do you have like a specific thing, like maybe since we covered those tips, do you have like a particular thing in Audacity that you're struggling with that maybe we could try to figure out together? Because I know like you do some like voice stuff, right? And that's when you're kind of using Audacity for certain things. So maybe if you could tell me what you're struggling with, we could actually kind of like talk about that because maybe I know the answer. I don't know. I literally only use like 4 buttons in this thing, but maybe one of those 4 buttons is the answer for it. Maybe. Let's see. I'm just checking something here real quick. So something else that I've noticed that also happens. Yeah, okay. So something else that I've noticed that also happens, and this only started happening to me in Windows 10. Like this didn't used to happen in previous Windows operating systems. Let's go back to desktop. Yeah, this didn't used to happen in previous operating systems, but sometimes I have to unplug my microphone and plug it into my work computer because I use it in there. And whenever I do that, sometimes Windows like resets my stuff. So let me show you how I got to this screen. So I just right clicked on this little guy and went to open sound settings. And if you scroll down to the input, you can see it's got the Yeti microphone, right? And you can see it's doing this. But sometimes like the audio comes out really, really quiet. And the reason I found for that is if you go into manage, oh no, it's not manage sound devices, it's device properties. No, that's not it. Where is it? Input device properties. Yeah. So in your microphone, for some reason, like Windows will start at like 40 instead of 100. And all of my stuff is set assuming Windows is going to be at 100, but it's not. And I don't know why it does that, but sometimes you plug in your microphone and Windows is like, it's time for quiet microphone, and it puts it at like 40. So you just come in here, jack it all the way up to 100 and that fixes it. So if you're recording something and you see like the little waves here being super tiny, um that's what I found is happening. At least for me, when that happens, that's what's getting jacked up is Windows. When I plug my microphone back in, it set it really quiet for some reason. The cutting and syncing multiple people's audio has bested me 9 times out of 10. Oh, okay. So it's trying to get multiple audios synced up. Yeah, the only way I know to like sync things is to do like the clap, right? So if you clap so that the clap gets recorded on everyone's audio, then that's how you would have to do it. But like I'm not 100% sure how you would make that work. Like because they would have to be recording what you're putting out. Like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That one's really hard. When you have multiple people's audios going on, it gets way more complicated. Especially if you have them all in their own unique channel, which I know that's typically what you want to do. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. I would almost like for me, I would almost use a video editing program for that. Like I've never used Audacity in that way. Like let me show you the video program that I use. I didn't really plan to go over like how I edit videos today. Maybe that's another stream that we can do if people are interested in that. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know down below in the YouTube comments if you're interested in seeing like other pieces of the video production, like editing the videos, like how I do my scripts, like how I do my thumbnails, stuff like that. But Camtasia is what I use to edit my videos. Oh, don't look. Don't look at the previous projects there. Spoilers. Um, but what I would almost do is put it in here because like let me just import something random. Like this is just some music, which is fine. So like let's pretend that these are like different people talking. Because visually, I feel like this would be easier to see. Is like because you can put when you put them down here, like you can see it, right? Like you can see the waveform, and you could like line them up in here. And I don't know, it's a video editing program. Like I don't think I can even if I save this, like I don't think I can even do it as audio. Like I think I have to do it as a video. But I don't know, visually that would make more sense to me to do it in a video editing program because I don't know that Audacity is really set up to do that. Now I assume if you had like a fancier program, like if you were using Audition, which that's what I use at work, and so I'm still in the process of really learning how Audition works. It's complicated. It is way more complicated than Audacity, so I don't know what I'm doing. But I assume if you had something like that, it would be easier to do what you're trying to do. But yeah, because video editing is like a timeline, that's how I would do it personally, because I could visually see what's going on down here and like slide them around and, you know, do my little cuts and stuff like that, and I would just do it in here. So that's probably how I would try to tackle it. So yeah, I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Audacity, like the main way that I've used it is to really just clean up like my specific audio, right? Like I've not used it to put like multiple audios together. Because the only thing that I'm doing where there's multiple audios, right, is the interstage window stream that I do, you know, with Landon and Naomi and whoever else wants to join really. Um for those, you know, and we just do it live and, you know, it is what it is and we don't go back and fix it. So if there's jank and you all just have to deal because it's live and that's how it goes. It does. Oh, good, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that that helps. And for those of you guys watching the VOD, because I know that's where, you know, most of you guys will end up watching the VOD and probably and not joining live. Let me know kind of down below what questions you guys have, like what your struggles are if you are doing this. I know I've got a few people that watch me that are doing like their own YouTube thing. So whatever y'all's questions are, like we can, you know, we can go through that, like we can talk about that. Okay. So I think like that's really like the main thing that I wanted to share. But also, this is artistic license, right? This is my stream where I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. So, this is the other thing that I wanted to do today. Let me close some of this stuff. Let me close some of this stuff. Okay. So, y'all are about to see how much of a dork I am. This thing. I have filled this thing out so many times. So many times. Because every time there's new generation, you got to fill it out again, right? And I've been getting the urge. I've been getting the urge to go through it again. So we're going to start on it today. We're not going to go like all the way through this thing. We're not going to go all the way through this thing, but we're going to go through some of it. So I filled this thing out enough to know, and if you guys have filled out this meme before, then you know some of these slots you don't really get a choice, right? Some of these slots there's like one thing that you can put in there and that's the only thing that you can put in there, right? So we're going to start with those. So we're going to start with the Pokemon on this thing that you don't really get a choice on. So I'm just bringing up some of my notes here for how we want to do this, because I took a note before this of like which Pokemon it is that you don't really get like a huge choice on. And I kind of started this a little bit, but you guys can't, we'll have to reveal. But I think we'll get a little bit farther than what I thought we were going to get through today. So the way that I do this particular meme is I start on this website here, VCoon. Let me actually switch back so you can see the whole thing. Actually, no, just Photoshop, just this one shows enough. Okay. Here I thought I was being treated to a sneak peek of the next roleplay. Oh, you wish I had enough information for that. I probably will do some kind of sneak peek of the next role play when it gets closer. Right now, like I literally don't know. Like I just don't know. Like I don't have that information. I'm kind of waiting for some of it to coalesce in my brain a little bit more. But this is what I want to do for a little bit of this. So I use this website vcoon.com, right? Because it lets you kind of search in a particular way. So, for example, do an example. So we've got Gen, this one, Gen 6, and then ground. So if we want to fill this out, so I'm just marking those, right? And I hit search, only one Pokemon is really going to come up, Diggersby. So I've got a couple of rules for myself. I've got a couple of rules for myself of how I'm going to fill this out. Because I got to give myself a little challenge, right? I got to give myself a little challenge. But my first rule is that I'm not going to do any sort of I'm not going to do any sort of legendary Pokemon except in the actual like legendary thing right here. All right. And then the other thing that I'm going to do, make sure I tell y'all all my rules because I noted those. Make sure I didn't miss one for myself. So my other rule is we're not going to do any mega forms. I'm not going to do any mega forms. Not going to do any like what was the new one, Gigantamax forms or whatever. And the other rule for myself is we're not going to do Alolan forms except for a couple. I cheat a little on this one, right? Like I already know there's certain Alolan forms I definitely want to put on here. But in general, I'm going to try to not use Alolan forms, right? So if we go back to Bikun, so that means, I'm such a bad Pokemon fan. I don't always know how to pronounce, especially some of the legendaries. So I think this guy is called Zygarde or something like that. But anyway, but he's like a legendary, right? So I'm not going to use him. We're going to use Diggersby. So if we go into here, he's underground. Oh, I have the wrong one right here. This guy. So let's reveal. So Diggersby goes here. And one of the things that I think is so fun, that's so fun about Pokemon that doesn't get like explored too much is their Pokédex entries. So this is like, it's like just really fun flavor text that they like to do in Pokemon that just doesn't really get explored. And from like a roleplay perspective, I think this is so cool. So I'm actually going to read some of the Pokédex entries for some of these guys. So Diggersby, if you're not familiar with Pokemon, it's one of the rabbit Pokemon. There's lots of them that look like little rabbits, and he's a normal and ground type. And his Pokédex entry says, with their powerful ears, they can heft boulders of a ton or more with ease. They can be a big help at construction sites. As powerful as an excavator, its ears can reduce dense bedrock to rubble. When it's finished digging, it lounges lazily. So it's like a lazy construction worker Pokemon, I guess, is what this flavor text is trying to tell you. And the reason why I think this is so cool and why I wanted to kind of start doing this again is actually inspired by Naomi, who's not here today, but hopefully she'll watch the VOD and she'll see this. Very, very briefly, a long time ago, I ran a Pokemon roleplay. It didn't go anywhere. Shadow remembers she was in it. Fill this out as your character. Oh my god, yeah, next or see me, fill this out as your character. Absolutely. Give your character Pokédex entries. That's a really good meme. And do their favorite Pokemon. Do their favorite Pokemon of all the different things. So I ran a Pokemon roleplay, and it was a narrative roleplay, just like I always do, which means that it was really more about like this stuff, like the flavor stuff for each of the Pokemons, and this is what we really played with when it came to like what Pokemon we picked for each of our characters' teams and what they decided to catch and stuff like that. Like it was really fun, like in a narrative sense. So that's Diggersby, and even though for this one, like you really don't get a choice, like the way that it is, you kind of can only pick this guy, right? Like it's just him. So you kind of, when you do this meme, like you kind of don't get a choice on this particular slot. I still think he's a pretty cool one. He's a pretty cool one. I would probably pick him even if there was like another option. So another one that they don't give you a huge amount of options on is going to be the I don't have memorized like what Pokemon's types and stuff are, so that's why I have to keep referencing my notes. But another one I know on here is the Ghost, the Gen 2 Ghost. There's only one Ghost type in Gen 2, and it's Misdrevious. Misdrevious is actually a Pokemon that I really, really like, and I really like Misdrevious's evolved form, but that doesn't get introduced until a later gen. So when it comes to Misdrevious here, that's where we're going to put it, right there in Gen 2 Ghost. And let's go look at Misdrevious's Pokédex entries. So because it was introduced in Gen 2, it's got like a lot of them. But I'm really just going to look at its Pokédex entries for its first generation that it was introduced. So it likes playing mischievous tricks as much as screaming and wailing to startle people at night. So literally a jump scare. It is the jump scare Pokemon. It loves to bite and yank people's hair from behind without warning just to see their shocked reactions. So this Pokemon is basically your little sister. This Pokemon is your little sister. It's great. I love it. I think it looks so cool. And like, let me see. Is there like a quick link to see? Yeah. So this is what it evolves into, Miss Magius. And it looks like a flying witch. Like it's so freaking cool. So I'm not mad that like I have to pick this one for my Gen 2 Ghost. And I don't really get a choice. That's fine. All right. So next one that I wanted to make sure we did today is the Gen 7 Steel Togedemaru. This is another one, like if you come in here in VCoon and do the Gen 2 and Steel. Oh no, not Gen 2, sorry. This one. 7. Takes me a second to translate the Roman numerals past 5 in my brain. So Gen 7 Steel, like most of these guys are really like legendaries or like legendary-ish, so I can't pick them with my rules. So Togedemaru is the only one that's not really like a legendary or mystic or whatever Pokemon in this slot. So that's where it goes. And this is basically the Pikachu-like one of this particular generation, and I do have a soft spot for some of those Pikachu-like ones. Like there's another one later that's like one of my favorite Pokemon that we'll get to when we kind of walk through this meme. But Togedemaru is the Pokemon that's the Pikachu-like one for this particular generation. So let's take a look at its Pokédex entries. The spiny fur on its back is normally at rest. When this Pokemon becomes agitated, its fur stands on end and stabs into its attackers. The long hairs on its back act as lightning rods. The bolts of lightning it attracts are stored as energy in its electric sacs. So this is actually, I'm pretty sure, like, Pikachu has a Pokédex entry that's like this about storing electricity in its like little electric sacs. So this is like such a Pikachu copy, but it also has the steel typing, not just the electric typing that Pikachu doesn't have. So it's a little bit different in that sense, but like thematically, like narrative wise, like it's the same. So do you miss round Pikachu that we used to have when Pokemon first came out? And I know he's gotten like his design has gotten all skinny. It used to be round, so if you miss round Pikachu, maybe this guy's your jam. Okay, let's go back to the meme. So the next one that I definitely wanted to show today is Gen 1 Dark type. So if you know anything about Pokemon, you know there was no Dark type in Gen 1. So this is one of the spots where I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat, and we're going to put in Rattata, but it's the Alolan Rattata that actually has the Dark typing. So let's go take a look at Rattata's Pokédex entries. So this guy, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff about Rattata because he's been around so long. Okay, so his Pokédex entries: bites anything when it attacks, small and very quick. It is a common sight in many places. Yes, this is like the common rat Pokemon, of course. Will chew on anything with its fangs. If you see one, it is certain that 40 more live in the area. So that's really all its Pokédex entry says, is there's a ton of them freaking everywhere. But they're still great. Like, Rattata is such a meme. Like, Rattata is like the top tier Rattata, right? Like, I I still have a soft spot for this Pokemon, right? Like I still think it's a really cool Pokemon, even though it's like super common. Like its design is cute. Like look at this thing. Like it's so cute, right? Like I mean, I would keep that as a pet. The teeth are a little bit scary. Hopefully it wouldn't bite me, but like I would keep that as a pet. You know what I mean? All right. So that's kind of the ones that I wanted to talk about today. I didn't really prepare like the graphics or anything for the rest of these, but I can kind of talk a little bit about how I fill out this meme. So I popped it into Photoshop and I've got this one right here because I couldn't find online a base that actually had like the all here on this side and at the bottom and had Gen 8 on it. So like I had to cobble some stuff together to make this one. So um I will post where you can download the PSD of this so that you can do it in Photoshop if you want to as well. And you can see I've got this organized by folders down here that already has it like blanked out. Like I'll show you what that means. So like this guy right here, I've got Diggersby here, but if I try to like click him and drag him, like you won't even see him, right? Like you only see him in this ground run right here. And you can just pop the images in here. And the place that I get these actual photos from is this website right here, Bulbapedia, that I've been going to. Because if you go to any of the Pokemon, you can see like all of their art, right? Like, let's find, like, I think that if I go, oh no, I'd have to log in for that. So they have like all of the images for all of these different Pokemon, and there's lots. Oh yeah, here we go. Images on the Bulba Garden archives. So they've got all the different images. So whatever kind of image you wanted to use for the Pokemon in this meme, you can get it from Bulbapedia pretty much. So I would save these images, size them down so that they're the right size for this, like the right size for this. I can tell you guys, it's yeah, it's about 230 pixels wide. So that's what you'd want to, oh no, 245. Let's zoom in actually, so we can be real accurate here. Let's do fixed ratio. I can tell you exactly how big these boxes are. These boxes are, looks like 245 or 246. Yeah, 246 pixels tall and wide. So you size them down to that, pop them in here, and you too can fill out this meme. So when it comes to this, I want to kind of like slowly go through this and show you guys like my different kind of favorite Pokemon. So it's going to take a second to kind of get through all of these ones here that you don't really get a huge amount of choice on. Let me see. Let's do fit on screen. There we go. So it's only 7:30. So let's actually, we can even like show how I resize these. So there's some others. There's some others that I know of on here that you don't get a lot of choice on. So let me find where those are at. Oh, here's one. So the Gen 2 Dragon types, you don't get a lot of choice on. So let me show y'all what our choices are for that. Gen 2. And let's do Dragon types. And I want to actually, there was a way, yeah, sort by national dex number. There we go. Okay, so this is one of the ones where you really don't get a lot of choice. You can do either Mega Ampharos, which I said I'm not going to do Mega forms, or you can do Kingdra. So Kingdra is what we're going to go with. It's a pretty cool Pokemon, so I'm not mad at it. So let's go look at Kingdra. All right, let's take a look at his Pokédex entries. It is said that it usually hides in underwater caves. It can create whirlpools by yawning. It sleeps deep in the ocean floor to build up energy. It's said to cause tornadoes in its wake. So some of these entries, this is what I love about them. Like they're so extra. Like imagine if this really happened inside the Pokemon universe. Like it doesn't, right? They don't actually have a move that does this, but like imagine if this was real. Like if you lived in a universe where there was this animal that when it yawned, it could create whirlpools. Like that is just ridiculous. And these Pokemon Index entries, like they go hard like that. Like a lot of them go hard like that. So let's save this image and we'll just put it on the desktop. And save it. And what did we say the dimensions were? Yeah, 245. Okay. So let's open you. Right kind of document. What? It's an image. Oh, it's web. Did I do the wrong thing? Oh no. I used to be able to save images from Bulbapedia, I swear, but it's not working. It keeps trying to save them as the web part. Oh, I did this before. Maybe I have to click on the file? Original file? Anyway, let's find another place that we can get it. No. Like Bulbapedia was the place. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'll have to add those actually into Photoshop later. Because I don't remember. I don't remember if there was like a different way I was doing it on Bulbapedia or something else. But anyway, so that's another one of the ones that that you don't really get a huge amount of choice on. And then I think there's two more. There's two more that like that's your only spot. So I'll show you guys those as well. So we've got Gen 7. They're both in Gen 7. So the Gen 7 Ice type. The only one that you can get is Crabominable. So that's the one we're gonna go with for that. And this is one of those ones that, like, this isn't my favorite. I don't like this Pokemon. I really don't like its design. I don't understand it. Like, it doesn't look good to me. It's a fighting ice type, and it just, I don't know. Like, I'm not about this. But let's read his entries anyway. Maybe they're fun. It aimed for the top but got lost and ended up in a snowy mountain. Being forced to endure the cold, this Pokemon evolved and grew fur. Maybe that's part of what makes me so uncomfortable about this Pokemon design, like it's a crab with fur. I don't know. It just throws punches indiscriminately. In times of desperation, it can lop off its own pinchers and fire them like rockets. Like, I don't know. I'm not into this Pokemon, but it's the only one that you can have for this slot. So that's what we're going to end up putting in that slot. And then the other one is Gen 7 Fighting. You only get one choice. And all of these, like, I know that this... Oh, I still did Ice on accident. No? Oh, no. That's fine. Oh, no. I lied. It's not the Gen 7 Ice. It's Gen 7 Dark is the other one. Not Gen 7 Fighting. It's Gen 7 Dark. So Gen 7 Dark... Yeah, there it is. Because Guzzlord is basically it's a beast Pokemon, so in my mind that's like the legendaries. Like I don't care, you know, I'm not gonna do that. So Incineroar is really the only one. Now Incineroar, I'm not mad at. I do really love the fire starter Pokemon, so that's fine with me. And Incineroar is kind of a meme, right? Like this is the Pokemon that all the furries love, right? So he's cool, like he's okay. He's fire dark type. And let's look at his entries. This Pokemon has a violent, selfish disposition. If it's not in the mood to listen, it will ignore its trainer's orders with complete nonchalance. So it's a total boss. After hurling furious punches and flinging furious kicks, it finishes opponents off by spewing fire form around its navel. So it's talking about this right here. Like, it just cracks me up that they have all this cool, like, flavor text in what the Pokemon can do in their Pokédex entries, but that's like just not really reflected in the actual like mechanics of the game in their moves. Like this is so fun to me. Like I want someday to do another Pokemon roleplay where we can actually play with this. I don't think that it's appropriate for what I want to do next, but someday, somehow, eventually, we will try to do a Pokemon roleplay again if I can figure out a good way to do it. Because the first one, it didn't work out. Like it didn't it wasn't right. Like there wasn't really a good way to do it. So I kind of like I failed on it. So I don't have a good idea for how to make this work in the future, but someday eventually we'll have a Pokemon role play. Oh, hey Antarctic. Try using an older image in the history. Maybe they switched to WebP files later on. Yeah, maybe. I really wanted it to all be this art that I put in there, so I'll have to figure out like exactly how they did that because I swear I used to just come here, right click, save the image, and then pop it in there. Like I'm pretty sure when I grabbed these four images, to get started on this, like that's what I did. So I don't know. I don't freaking know. But those are the Pokemon in this particular meme that you kind of don't get a choice on. It's these guys and then Kingdra, Incineroar, and Crabominable. So when you're filling out this meme, those ones like they're always going to be on there, or I guess you could leave them blank, or if you don't want to follow my silly rules, I guess you don't have to. Like you could put legendaries in there for some of these because there are legendary choices, but to me like if you're going to have the legendary column, like that's what that should go into. So so that's how I'm going to fill out this meme. Um and I kind of want to do that as like my fun thing towards the end of this stream after we finish talking about whatever it was that I wanted to explain because I love Pokemon. It's one of those franchises that just brings me so much joy. I've played every single one. Now, to what extent I've played them, like, totally varies. Like, some I have beaten all the way through, to the Elite Four and post game and continued playing after that. And some not so much. Like, some I've literally just beaten and then put back away. Um, and I know people had a lot of complaints about the Sword and Shield, about the newest Pokemon, but like I really enjoyed it. Like, to be honest, I don't know how controversial this is still, but like it was a big deal when it first released that, oh my God, not all the Pokemon are in it. But honestly, like, thank you. There's too many. Like, there's too many. You can't keep track. And I actually was able to finish my Pokédex for the first time in many, many generations, which I had not completed my Pokédex in the past, like, so many generations because it was just too much. Like, it was too much. So I appreciated that there was less. I did play through the new little expansion that came out. I'm sure I'll play through the next one, but it is what it is. Oh, I need to play Sword Shield, but it still never goes on sale properly. Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to like Nintendo, like when it comes to Nintendo franchises, like they don't go on sale. I don't know what's up with that. So good luck. The best I could say probably when it comes to Sword and Shield, where you're gonna get it cheaper, is like going to a place like GameStop and buying a used copy. Like I think that's the only way that you're gonna get a game like that cheaper. And even then, like I don't know what GameStop is selling it for, but it's probably not even that well discounted. So that's this meme. I love doing this meme. It takes a long time though. Like if I were to sit down and like do it, it literally would take all day. So we're actually gonna pause right there. I'll add the other graphics to this afterwards so that next week when we do a few more, we're kind of starting from those and I'll figure out what's going on with the graphics so we can fix that next time and do some more and talk about some more Pokemon. Um, but yeah, this meme is really fun, and I love filling it. I've filled it out at least once for every generation. So we're gonna do it again. Essentially, we're gonna do it again. Let's switch back to just webcam. Okay, so I think that's really all the stuff that I wanted to talk about today. I hope this was helpful for you guys that do wonder how I film my videos, like how I put them together. Like I said, there's other steps in how I do that. So if you're interested in like my scripting process, my editing process, my process for thumbnails, like let me know down in the comments because I can put together some notes on that and go through all of those processes as well. But that is my filming process. You kind of know what I do there, and it's really like really low budget way to do it. And I don't recommend like investing a lot when it comes to YouTube. Like you're gonna do better investing in things that help with like your research than you are gonna be investing in like equipment, right? Really, the only equipment I recommend investing in is microphone, maybe some lights because they're cheap. But there's really no reason when you're starting out to buy a camera. Like that can come later. Like it can come later. It's okay. because there's other things that you're going to want to work on. You're going to want to work on your camera presence. You're going to want to work on like exactly what you want your channel to be about, all of those good things. So that's my recommendations. Hope that was helpful for you guys. That's it for today. That's the stream. That's the first, the first Karen only stream that we're doing. And we're going to be doing these typically on Thursday nights. My plan is to do kind of like this, kind of like an hour, maybe 2 hours. It really depends on what topic I'm talking about, how long it goes on. Because unlike with the interstage window where I have someone to bounce off of, there is kind of like a limited amount of stuff. Like I want to say this, and this, and that's all I'm gonna say, right? So I do hope you join me next time, because it's really about whatever I feel like talking about. I don't know what we're doing next time, but I will let you guys know. Join the Discord, which is also down below in the Twitch. Like you can find the link to the Discord down there. Um, I recommend joining that because I will tell you guys what the topic's going to be so that you know if you want to come to the live show. So that's it. That's all. All right. Thank you guys so much. Bye.